this tutorial called Tie a Bow. Now, as you can see here, I've done the tie a bow technique at the top of this little button present. But now I want to do tie a bow at the top of this present. So all I'm going to do is thread a piece of yarn through one of my embroidery needles that came in your kit. And this time I'm actually not going to knot it at the end, and you'll see why. From the top of your project, you're going to go down one side of that area that you're going to tie the bow. And again, it's just right at the top, and it's just right at the top, in this case, of where that yarn jumps to. I'm going to go all the way down, pulling my yarn until I have, maybe about a 3-inch or 4-inch tail. Okay. Now from there, I'm going to leave that tail hanging out while I take my needle and put it back underneath my project and go up just about a 1/4 of an inch away from where I first went down. Okay. Pull my needle all the way through. You might need to give it a little wiggle as it's going through. And now I have my other side. Once I've done that, I'm just going to simply pull this yarn out of the needle, and now I have this yarn ready to be tied into a bow. See how simple that is? All I do is just tie it in a knot right there, make my 2 loops just like you were tying a bow on your shoes, and pull. Make that bow as large as you would like it to be. You could even, separate the little strands in the yarn too to make it fluffier and larger. That's up to you. And then cut your tails to whatever length you would like. Look, it's really that simple. It's called tie a bow, and it's so very easy. Now in this case, when there's a bow added, you've got a nice big thick ribbon. All I would do actually in something like that is actually tie my bow separately off of the project and then tack it down with some hot glue to put it on top of the tree. But we're working with yarn on these bows, you certainly can do it just like I showed you there. So we just finished the tie a bow technique, but I want to show you one other area that looks maybe a little different than just a regular tie a bow. Let's take a look at these instructions on the pattern. This area says tie a bow, but only bow tails as shown in the photo. Well, let's see what that looks like. Here are the little tails hanging off of there, and just like you did the tie a bow, you're going to thread some yarn, and you're not going to tie a knot in the end. You're going to keep that loose. I'm going to go down here at one side, bring that yarn through, leaving a nice little tail. I'm going to go up right next to it, about a 1/4 of an inch away, and bring that needle up all the way. I can now pull the needle off the yarn, and now I literally have just the tails of the bow, and I want to tie it in a little knot once, twice, and instead of tying it into a bow like we did before, you just let those little tails hang off. If you want, you can trim them up to the size you wish, and there you go. That's how to do tie a bow, but with only the tails.